Well, you've nearly reached the weekend, so I hope that your week has gone well. Pharmaceutical companies hire security guards. And of course, we know they hire them to prevent people breaking in and stealing drugs. But there's something else that could be highly destructive, and that is someone might break and enter into a pharmaceutical company, not steal any drugs, but they could be really destructive if they infected the drugs that are there. And that what would happen, of course, is that many people would get very sick from those infected drugs. Now, guarding is about keeping valuable things in, but also keeping destructive things out. Now, guarding our heart is a call to be very careful, not only about trying to keep our heart in, I suppose, but it's more about keeping destructive things out of our heart. Because a crooked heart will not prosper. The lying tongue stumbles into trouble. And see, the heart that's not doing well is a crooked heart, and often it's a heart that's received things that it shouldn't have done because it's not been guarded well. There's something unhealthy about this heart, and a heart that is unhealthy can't produce anything useful. The lips of the wise give good advice, but the heart of a fool has got none to give. So the crooked or foolish heart is powerless to help people. Now, we guard our hearts as they are the wellspring of our life. Now, this idea of wellspring is an interesting one to think about how we guard, because ancient people in battles, in conflict, understood what it was to guard their wellspring. You see, if you wanted to weaken your enemy, there was two things that you could do to them in ancient times. First one is block up their well. If they can't get water, they're in a vulnerable position, and typically, but you can't only block them and limit them till they find another source, and that's what they will go and do, is find another source. But there's something more insidious, more subtle, that actually will weaken over time an enemy in a much worse way. And this is, instead of blocking up your enemies well, what you would do is you would kill some animal. A large animal is a good one to use, and let it rot for 2 or 3 days. When it's getting really bad and it's just not good at all, drop that animal into your enemy's well, and the water's going to get infected and polluted. And initially, your enemy might not know, and they'll take this water, but they have a source, but that water is really bad for them. And of course, over time, they will get sicker and sicker, weaker and weaker. They did not guard their wellspring. Now, the heart is the wellspring, and if there are rotten animals in our heart, what kind of rotten animals? Sin, shame, fear, guilt, rejection, bitterness, jealousy. You can think of some other rotten animals, I'm sure. If they are in our heart, they will be a source of rotten life. So here's our Friday thought to ponder. What rot might be in my heart that's preventing me from living with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? What right? What rot? A tongue twister. What rot might be in our heart that prevents us from living with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? May it be that the Holy Spirit helps us today to have clean and pure hearts, that we live with His fruit. God bless.